To me, a tribute fund is a way of honouring Mum, that we can keep a track of the money so we can see how it's totalling up and have the pleasure in knowing that that's directly attributed to Mum and that something positive has come out of what is not a very nice experience, basically. Well, my mum's name was Jean, and she loved people. She loved talking to people, was always the fun-loving one that used to circulate at do's and get everybody's life story in about 5 minutes. Difficult to say when we first noticed there was something wrong with Mum, and when perhaps we noticed the dementia was kicking in. It has a habit of creeping up on us. A lot of things you put down to old age. It became noticeable eventually when Mum couldn't think of a word for a basic thing, like a cup of tea, anything. She just can't remember what the word is, and we used to have to play, like, give us a clue, you know, describe it, Mum, to try and make her brain work. But of course at that stage we realised what it was. The main thing that we've done for the Tribute Fund is Mum's books. I'm obviously was her attorney, and I was sorting through papers and I discovered this entire pile of typed out on the old typewriter poems that she'd written. But as I read through them, I was just staggered at the memories and the scenes painted and the types of people talked about. It transported you to a different time, and you could well imagine what she was looking at or talking about. So I sort of thought at first, we'll just do a little booklet for the kids, you know, something nice for the family. And then the more I read them and typed them into the computer, the more I thought, no, this wants to be shared. But to avoid a lot of legalities anyway, we wouldn't sell for a fixed price, we'd just offer them in exchange for donations. By this time, Dad and I were volunteering at one of the local, I think they call them memory cafes. And of course, many of them were doing the memory walk. So we thought, well, we'll join in on this. I put a little notice about what we were doing on our T-shirts, you know, where it says I'm raising money for or I'm walking for. And Dad thoroughly enjoyed it. We just did the mile because I got Dad with me, but he did that and the Bupa extra mile, so he was quite pleased with his medal and that he'd done it for Mum. You know, that was what it was all about. I could certainly recommend setting up a tribute fund. It's, if nothing else, it's a very sensible, practical way of keeping tabs on what you have raised. Not everybody's as good at making their own records, and so it's very helpful to work alongside someone from the society. Also, of course, the fund, you can continue raising money for it as long as you wish to. Equally, the money is being used, but at the same time, you still put it through against Mum's name. I found it was a real comfort for me because I was so immersed in all the nitty-gritty and the not too nice arrangements and the not too nice looking after at the end that I needed to remind myself what my mother was. And this was my glimpse, as the title of the book says, through the wall.